500 years ago, a man fell from power, disgraced and humiliated. Niccolò Machiavelli, once a respected civil servant of Florence, was stripped of his office, accused of conspiracy, imprisoned, tortured until his body broke, and then exiled from the city he had served. In his isolation, he wrote the book that would outlive him, the book that made his name synonymous with manipulation, deception, and ruthless cunning, The Prince. And yet, what is most fascinating is not that Machiavelli was hated in his time. It is that he is still feared in ours. Entire empires have risen and fallen since he put pen to paper, yet his name remains a curse. His ideas are still whispered about as if they were poison. His book has been banned, burned, condemned by popes, kings, and professors alike. Even today, to call someone Machiavellian is an insult, a way of accusing them of being cold, manipulative, and corrupt. 5 centuries of hatred, 5 centuries of rejection. Why? Because Machiavelli laughed at the illusions that human beings cling to. He laughed at our longing for morality, our desperate need for noble rulers, our childlike belief that goodness and power can coexist. He stripped away the beautiful masks we place over politics, religion, and human nature, and revealed the truth that lies beneath. A truth so ugly that to this day we recoil from it. A truth so dangerous that we pretend not to hear it, even as we live it. That truth is simple. Power does not obey morality, and survival does not reward virtue. This is Machiavelli's last laugh, the laugh of a man who exposed the fraud of human illusions and who watches even now as history continues to prove him right. Open The Prince and you will not find the advice of a saint. You will not find sermons on justice or mercy or faith. You will find instructions for survival. Cold, practical, merciless. Machiavelli tells rulers that it is better to be feared than loved, because fear endures while love fades. He tells them that promises are made to be broken when they no longer serve. He tells them that appearances matter more than reality, that religion is useful as a mask, that cruelty can be merciful if it is swift and decisive, that generosity can destroy if it is constant. He tells them that human beings are fickle, selfish, ungrateful, treacherous, and that to forget this truth is to invite ruin. The world still hates him because he was not wrong. Consider how we speak about leadership today. We demand honesty from politicians, yet punish them for the rare moment of brutal truth. We demand kindness from those in power, yet despise them if their kindness makes them weak. We say we want morality, but what we really want is the appearance of morality. And Machiavelli knew this. He knew that people do not want reality. They want theater. They want rulers to wear masks of virtue, to give them illusions to cling to. And when those masks slip, when the theater collapses, they rage not only against the ruler, but against themselves for having believed. This is why The Prince remains so unsettling. It does not just accuse leaders of hypocrisy. It accuses us of complicity. It tells us we are the audience who rewards lies, who demands illusions, who punishes sincerity. It tells us that the fraud of politics is not the rulers alone, but ours as well. And we hate Machiavelli for holding up that mirror. Think of history. Julius Caesar was stabbed not because he was cruel, but because he was too merciful to his enemies. Louis XVI of France, mocked as weak, fell not because he was the most corrupt king, but because he appeared indecisive. Abraham Lincoln, admired for honesty, was only able to preserve his vision through calculated deception and ruthless maneuvering. Even modern leaders, presidents, prime ministers, CEOs, rise and fall not because of their true actions, but because of how well they maintain the mask of virtue. The world does not forgive weakness. It does not reward purity, and yet we still pretend it does. Machiavelli's last laugh echoes here. He told us that love is fragile, that promises are paper, that mercy without fear is fatal, and every century since has proved him correct. But what frightens us most is not that his ideas are true, it is that he embraced them. He did not beg for a return to morality. He did not hope for a world of justice. He told rulers to accept reality as it is and to use it. He told them that the highest morality is survival itself. And by doing so, he crossed a boundary that even today most thinkers will not touch. Others wrapped their truths in religion, in ideals, in noble language. Machiavelli spoke nakedly. He tore away the mask. And so we demonize him. We call him evil, a corrupter, a cynic, a devil. Because it is easier to curse the messenger than to face the message. It is easier to pretend that cruelty and deception are aberrations than to admit they are the foundation of power. But every time a leader betrays us, every time a promise is broken, every time we watch corruption win, Machiavelli laughs again. His truth survives because we keep proving it. Now ask yourself, if he was right, if the world really does crush the virtuous and reward the cunning, what does that mean for you? Will you go on clinging to illusions, demanding morality from those who must betray you to survive? Or will you learn, as he did, to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be? Because history still fears Machiavelli, but you don't have to. You can learn from him. You can stop being prey to illusions and start surviving with eyes open. The question is whether you dare. Subscribe if you want to keep dismantling illusions. Share this with someone still convinced that morality rules the world, and watch their denial burn. And comment below, do you think Machiavelli was evil or simply honest enough to terrify us? Because the last laugh is his, and until you face his truth, you will always be the punchline. Machiavelli's shadow is not confined to the dusty pages of a Renaissance manuscript. His laughter echoes through the corridors of parliaments, boardrooms, and even our own homes. His truths are not relics, they are alive. The great irony is this: though we denounce him, we practice him. Though we claim to despise him, we imitate him. His principles are embedded in the very fabric of modern life. And every time we recognize them but refuse to name them, his last laugh grows louder. Think of politics today. Every campaign is built on Machiavelli's foundations. Candidates speak endlessly of morality, honesty, justice, but each knows that appearances matter more than substance. They stage carefully choreographed moments of humility, handshakes with children, rehearsed tears, dramatic speeches about unity. Behind the curtain, deals are struck, alliances betrayed, secrets buried. They understand that the crowd does not want truth, it wants theater. And so the theater continues, generation after generation. Machiavelli foresaw this. Leaders must appear virtuous, even if they are not. And the people, craving illusions, demand it. But this is not limited to politics. Corporations play the same game. They plaster slogans about ethics and sustainability across their advertisements while exploiting cheap labor and devastating the environment. They speak of family values while reducing workers to numbers. They donate a fraction of profits to charity, then weaponize it as proof of morality. It is the mask of virtue, Machiavelli's most enduring lesson, applied not to princes, but to brands. And we, the consumers, applaud the performance while pretending not to see the reality. Even in personal life, his shadow lingers. We claim to prize honesty, yet punish those who speak it too plainly. How many times have you softened your words, not out of kindness, but out of calculation? How many times have you withheld your true thoughts because you knew the truth would cost you? That is Machiavelli whispering in your ear. Appearances matter more than reality. Do not show your face without a mask, and when you do, choose carefully which mask it will be. This is why history still fears him, because his lessons are not confined to the powerful. They are universal. They reveal the mechanics of every human relationship, from the ruler's throne to the lover's bed. We fear him because his clarity strips away not only political illusions but personal ones. He does not just expose presidents and kings, he exposes us. Take, for example, the illusion of love. We like to imagine it as eternal, unconditional, unbreakable. Machiavelli laughs. He reminds us that human affection is fragile, bound to circumstances. People love you when you provide, when you succeed, when you fulfill their needs. But when you falter, when you cannot deliver, love evaporates. Fear, however, is more reliable. Fear lingers even in disappointment. Fear ensures boundaries are not crossed. That is why Machiavelli argued, it is safer to be feared than loved. Look around. How many relationships, professional or personal, collapse the moment convenience vanishes? How many loyalties endure only as long as they are beneficial? We know this. We live this. Yet we still cling to the illusion of unconditional loyalty. And so Machiavelli laughs at us, century after century, as we mourn betrayals that he predicted long ago. Or consider the illusion of honesty. We celebrate honesty in theory, but in practice we punish it. Whistleblowers are silenced. Brutally honest friends are avoided. Leaders who speak truth without sugarcoating are ridiculed or despised. What we really want is comforting honesty, a half-truth wrapped in kindness, an illusion that feels authentic but does not wound us. Machiavelli revealed this hypocrisy. He told us rulers must appear honest, but keep their real intentions concealed. Because the crowd does not want truth, it wants the appearance of it. And the one who speaks too plainly is destroyed. We know this is true in our own lives. How often do we tell white lies, not out of malice, but out of survival? Machiavelli did not invent dishonesty. He explained why it is inevitable. The most chilling example, however, is the way leaders use enemies. Machiavelli advised princes to maintain visible threats, for nothing unites a people faster than fear of an external foe. Look around today. Nations thrive on perpetual enemies. Politicians distract from domestic failures by pointing to foreign dangers. Corporations frame competition as existential to bind workers together. Even within families or friend groups, enemies are invented, outsiders to blame, scapegoats to rally against. It is the oldest trick in the manual, and still the most effective. Every time we fall for it, Machiavelli's laugh echoes again. But his laugh is not just about leaders, it is about us. We are complicit because we prefer the illusion. We condemn manipulation, but we punish sincerity. We demand masks, then rage when they slip. We say we want justice, but reward those who play dirty so long as they win for our side. We mock corruption while electing the corrupt. We complain about lies, then choose to believe them because they comfort us. Machiavelli terrifies us because he reminds us that power is not stolen from us. We surrender it willingly in exchange for illusions. This is why the prince has outlived its enemies. Popes cursed it, kings banned it, teachers denounced it. But none of that could kill it, because reality keeps resurrecting it. You cannot bury truth by calling it evil. You cannot erase necessity by outlawing it. Machiavelli's words endure because human nature does not change. The faces change, the costumes change, but the play remains the same, and every generation proves him right again. Think of how history treats him. They call him cynical, corrupt, wicked. But cynicism is only seeing the world as it is without the comfort of illusions. Corruption is only the survival instinct dressed in dark clothes, and wickedness is only the refusal to pretend that morality governs power. What history fears in Machiavelli is not his darkness, but his honesty. Because honesty, when stripped of illusions, is always terrifying. And so we arrive at the heart of his last laugh. It is not the laugh of a sadist reveling in cruelty. It is the laugh of a man who told us the truth, watched us deny it, and then watched reality vindicate him again and again. His laughter is the echo of human hypocrisy. We curse him as evil, while living exactly as he predicted. We call him dangerous, while imitating his advice unconsciously. We deny him, but we cannot escape him. Here is the question you must face. Will you go on denying him, clinging to illusions, pretending the world is ruled by justice and honesty? Or will you confront the ugly clarity he offers and learn to navigate it? Because denial does not protect you, it only blinds you. And every time reality shatters your illusions, Machiavelli's laughter grows louder. Comment below. Do you see his fingerprints in the world around you? Have you witnessed masks, betrayals, manipulations, narratives designed to control you? You have. We all have. Subscribe if you want to continue unmasking these illusions. Share this with someone who still insists that politics, business, or even personal life can be lived without deception. And watch how they react when faced with Machiavelli's mirror. Because history still fears him. But if you learn from him, you no longer have to. You can walk through the theater with your eyes open, masks in place, illusions discarded. And when others fall into despair at betrayal, you will remember. Machiavelli already told you, and he is laughing still. The final chapter of Machiavelli's laugh is not written in history books. It is written in us. His shadow lingers not because of dusty pages, but because his truths are alive inside every decision we make, every mask we wear, every betrayal we endure. To understand why history still trembles at his name, we must step beyond Florence, beyond princes and parliaments, and see the wider theater, human life itself. For Machiavelli was not merely a political thinker, he was an anatomist of survival. Consider the intimate world, families, friendships, lovers. Here too his truths apply. How often does the mask of virtue appear in personal relationships? We pretend patience when seething with resentment. We smile at people we despise. We profess loyalty while calculating escape. These are not aberrations. They are survival strategies. To speak all truth in relationships is to destroy them. To be purely generous is to be exploited. To forgive endlessly is to be walked on. And so, without realizing it, we apply Machiavelli daily. We maintain appearances. We calculate cruelty. We wield silence as a weapon. We deny it because we want to believe in purity, but the denial is just another mask. This is the depth of his last laugh. He showed us that politics is only a mirror of human nature. Leaders deceive because people deceive. Princes manipulate because humans manipulate. We rage at corruption at the top, yet we ourselves use half-truths and masks in daily life. We hate in others what we cannot deny in ourselves. That is why Machiavelli unsettles us. He dissolves the boundary between the ruler and the ruled, between the tyrant and the ordinary man. His laughter tells us, you are not innocent, and you never were. Look at history's response to him. Popes condemned the prince as satanic, as if words themselves carried evil. Kings feared it, because it revealed their games too plainly. Scholars tried to soften him, to reinterpret his work as satire or irony, as if they could tame his clarity by wrapping it in ambiguity. Even today, classrooms present him as dangerous, a corrupter of youth, a necessary evil in the study of politics. And yet his book remains on shelves, still read, still discussed, still feared. If he were truly wrong, would he not have been forgotten? The fact that he endures is proof of his accuracy. We do not burn books that are false, we burn books that are too true. But Machiavelli's laughter grows loudest not in politics or classrooms, it grows loudest in collapse. When nations crumble, when illusions break, when morality proves powerless, then his voice returns. In times of peace, we cling to illusions. In times of crisis, we rediscover Machiavelli. The 20th century proved this in blood. Hitler rose through appearances and fear. Stalin maintained loyalty through terror and narrative. Churchill lied strategically to keep Britain fighting. Roosevelt masked necessity with optimism. Every leader, saint or tyrant, played by the rules Machiavelli described. Those who tried to rule by sincerity, by pure morality, were destroyed before history could remember them. The survivors were those who mastered appearance, fear, necessity, exactly as Machiavelli taught. And now, look at today. Social media is a Machiavellian battlefield. Influencers sell appearances of virtue, curated masks of kindness, authenticity staged and monetized. Corporations polish identities while practicing ruthless strategy. Politicians weaponize enemies and narratives with frightening precision. Even ordinary people play the game, posting carefully selected images to appear happier, stronger, more virtuous than they are. The digital age is not an escape from Machiavelli, it is his kingdom. His laughter echoes louder in the glow of every screen. But here lies the final fear. If Machiavelli was right, what is left of morality? If survival and power always override virtue, then what is the point of ideals? Do they exist only as masks, only as illusions to comfort the naive? Are justice, honesty, love, and mercy nothing more than performances we stage to stabilize society? This is the abyss his readers still resist. It is not that his words are dark. It is that they strip away the stories we tell ourselves. And humans cannot live without stories. Yet here is the paradox. Even Machiavelli did not say ideals were useless. He understood their power, not as truth, but as performance. A ruler who abandons all appearances of morality is doomed because the people demand illusions. Virtue is a tool, not a truth. Mercy is a weapon, not a principle. Faith is a mask, not a law. And so ideals survive, not because they are real, but because they are useful. That is the cruel genius of his vision. Illusions matter because humans need them, even when we know they are false. This is his last laugh. We condemn him for killing morality, yet we still need morality's mask to survive. We call him wicked, yet we cannot escape the stage he described. We burn his book, but we act out its contents daily. The more we deny him, the more we prove him right. So what does this mean for you, listening now? It means you must decide whether to continue living in illusions or to embrace clarity. You cannot escape the game. Only choose how you play. You can cling to ideals sincerely and be crushed. You can master masks and survive through appearances. Or if you dare, you can go further. You can accept that illusions are tools, use them consciously, and refuse to be deceived by them. Few reach this stage. Most either perish in sincerity or drown in deception. But some, very few, stand above both, wielding illusions without being ruled by them. These are the ones who laugh with Machiavelli, not at him. And perhaps that is his true legacy, not to corrupt, but to awaken. To strip away comforting lies so that you are no longer a victim of them. To show you the mechanics of survival so that you are not crushed by those who play the game better. To remind you that history fears him because history fears truth. And if you can face his truth without trembling, then you are already stronger than most. But if you cannot, if you recoil, if you insist that morality alone will save you, then Machiavelli is laughing at you, even now. So choose. Will you be part of the audience, demanding illusions, hating the truth teller? Or will you step onto the stage, mask in hand, fully aware of the game, unafraid to play it? Comment below. Is Machiavelli evil or honest? Subscribe if you want to keep dismantling the illusions that control you. Share this with someone who clings desperately to the idea that morality rules the world, and watch how quickly they rage or retreat. Because 500 years later, the prince still lives, the illusions still rule, and Machiavelli, broken, tortured, and exiled, is still laughing.